Hello, children, I see you. I'm very happy to see you. Greet your family, boogie on down. Give a clap and turn around. I am Miss Wendy, and I am going to be teaching you about reptiles, especially 4 kinds of reptiles that we have in Texas. But let's start out. Whoa, you recognize what these guys are? A lizard, a chameleon. So, little lizard in the tree, in the sun, make your sun up here. So first in the tree and then we're in the sun. So happily changing colors on his skin. Rub your skin so that he can blend right in. So that's one of the things we'll be learning about. Oh, this is green, so we're going to sing a song. Even though my lizards are not green, let me show you some of my different lizards here. There they are. But we're going to sing about a green lizard. Have you ever seen a lizard? A lizard. Lizard, have you ever seen a lizard all dressed up in, whoa, green, with green eyes and green nose? Touch your eyes and nose with now your legs, with green legs and green toes. Go way down to your toes. Have you ever seen a lizard all dressed up in green? We're also going to be learning about, do you know what these guys are? Turtles. So let's be turtles. Some turtles swim in the ocean. Let's make swimming. Some turtles swim in the sea. Some turtles get very big, almost as big as me. Now swim. Turtles, turtles, swimming there and here. Turtles, turtles, now swimming everywhere. Can you make your turtles swim everywhere? And I bet you know what these guys are. Whoa. Lots of different ones. Snakes. So now we're going to do snakes. All the snakes, make your hands into a snake. All the snakes are wriggling, slithering, wiggling. All the snakes are wiggling through the grass. Make your grass. All the snakes make a sound. Let's all hiss. Make a hiss, make a sound. All the snakes make a sound as they slither around. Now, can you stick out your tongues? Because that's what snakes use to smell. All the snakes smell with their tongues. With their tongues, with their tongues. All the snakes smell with their tongues, smelling you. And now we're going to learn a little bit about reptiles. So reptiles are 4-legged or come from 4-legged creatures. That means, oh, they're vertebrates. They have a skeleton. Can you feel your backbone? That's your vertebrae. Big word alert, let's all say it. Vertebrae. So they are vertebrate. That means their skeleton is inside their skin. They lay, let's make an egg, soft eggs. They have, let's rub our skin, dry, scaly skin. They have plates or scutes on their skin. They're cold-blooded. When it's cold, they're cold. When it's hot, they're hot. Now, let's do some learning about 4 kinds of reptiles. So first of all, we have turtles, and they have a bony shell. We're going to look at that in a second. Coming from, let's all find, can you find your shoulders? Reach down, find your hips, and then your rib cage, and your, remember that vertebrae in the back? Well, what happened with turtles when they were dinosaur lizards long, long ago is these bones here and around your ribs. Let's see if I can show you a better picture of my ribs, and all the way down on my hips. They flattened out and came together. Let's make them come together. So they flattened out, and all these ribs came together, and that's what formed the turtle shell. So we're going to learn a little more about turtles in a second. Lizards have 4 legs and ears. Touch your ears on the outside, external ears. But snakes have they don't have external ears or external eyelids. They have mainly, remember that vertebrae we talked about, because, and ribs? Snakes are mainly vertebrae and ribs. We're going to see an x-ray of a snake to see that. And so, whoops, then there's crocodiles and alligators. But in Texas, we have alligators. We're going to learn a little bit more about them. They have long, flat, let's make flat snouts, compressed tails. Can we make our compressed tails? Peg like teeth, touch your teeth. And their eyes and ears are on the top. Let's touch the top of their heads. Now, let's see. Here's that turtle shell I told you about. So can you see it's bony? Here's our turtle. There we go. Can you see him? It's bony, and it's covered with those scales called, big word, new word, scutes. That's a funny word. It's covered with scutes. And now this is one kind of lizard. It's an iguana. Whoa, this is what an iguana skull looks like. Can you see all those little teeth there? Here's a picture. Let's get that up where you can see it, of the iguana. That's one kind of lizard. Let me show you what. Here's another lizard. This is a fossil, and you can see the lizard skeleton. Remember we said they were vertebrae, so their skeleton is inside, and you can see they've got the backbone there. It goes all the way down the tail and all the way up to the head, and 4 legs. We talked about the 4 legs. Now, I wonder what animal has a big tooth like this. Can you touch your teeth? Yes, this one is a crocodile. Crocodiles live all over the world. Alligators only live in the United States. Now, we are going to take a look. Remember, I told you we would see. I'm going to try to get this so you can actually see the snake skeleton a little bit better. There, can you see it? Can you see that a snake is almost all ribs? And remember that word, vertebrae, except for its skull right up here at the top. So you can see that in the x-ray. Here's a picture of that snake. You can see those scales we talked about. So we're going to learn just a little bit about some of the differences. For instance, here's our crocodile down here. See how it is a long, narrow nose? But this alligator has a flatter, U-shaped nose. This one isn't as scary and frightening. This one is very scary and frightening. Now let's look at some of the differences between turtles, tortoises, and terrapins. So let's see, can you see this turtle has flippers and a pretty much streamlined flat shell because they live in the water. They're omnivores. Remember, we've learned about that. Big word alert, omnivores. That means they eat meat and plants, and they live in water, generally in, they live in all sorts of water right here. Now, tortoises, can you see they have big fat feet like elephants and a big domed or round shell. They live on land and eat plants, so they're a little bit different. And here at the bottom are terrapins. They live in swamps or wetlands. Also, we can learn a little bit more about lizards. So let's look at how lizards use coloring. Whoops, excuse me, how reptiles use coloring. We're going to learn about lizards using coloring also. Here is a gentle milk snake. It likes to look like the ferocious coral, dangerous coral snake, because that way other predators, remember we learned about predators, animals that want to eat other animals won't want to eat it because they think it might be the coral snake, which is very dangerous. Now here's our lizard color. And lizards use color in many ways. They can change color to regulate temperature. They can show who's the boss. They can show I'm going to have a baby when they're pregnant. They can also say, hey, I want to find a girlfriend. So lizards can change colors. In this case, it's the chameleon in different ways. They have cells. I have my color cells up here. And those color cells are sort of like sacks of paint and or food color. So they can turn them off, they can squeeze them shut, or they can open them, and that's how they change colors in lots of ways. Don't you think this is a very pretty lizard? Lots of colors there. Now there's more we can learn about lizards. Can you stick your tongue out again? So this is a chameleon. Their tongue can be 2 times, let's put 2 fingers up, as long as their body. It is very sticky to catch insects, and they use it to smell. Can you touch your nose? They use it to smell. Now look at this. This is a gecko foot. Let's put our hands up because they actually have, you can see, they actually have 5 toes. They're made of big hairs, which are called setae. Can we say that word? That's a funny word. Setae that are made up of even smaller hairs. Really big word. Spatula. And those act like Velcro. So that allows the gecko to hold on to things. You've probably seen them on walls, but they also have that same kind of Velcro in their tail. That's called a fracture or break plate. So let's say some big nasty animal comes and grabs them by the tail. They can just relax, pull apart that Velcro, just like this, and the tail comes off. We call that detaching. And then the animal just has that tail. A new one will grow. It's not quite as good as the old one, but it's pretty good. And the important part of the animal with all the organs inside and the head, that's safe. So we learned about 4 kinds of animals that are in the reptile group. And I'm going to show you, remember we said they have dry, scaly skin? Can you see my dry, scaly skin on my very long snake here. Can you see here? This would have been the snake's head. And here at the other end, we have the snake's tail. I'll pull out another one of these. Let me get another one. I've got lots of snakes in here. So you can see a little bit better where the snake's head was, down at this end, and the snake's tail down at that end. And look at how long that snake is. That snake is taller than I am, and probably much taller than you are. So you can make a game if you go to the Family Nature Guides where you can, here we go, have a place to sort your lizard, snake, alligator, and turtles. And so you can cut out your little pictures. Here I have a turtle and a snake and an alligator and a lizard and lots more. So you can cut them out and sort them into the different areas. You also can do that matching. So let's go ahead and read a story about reptiles. And it goes like this. It's called Leaping Lizards. Special adaptations that we learned about today. So here's Leaping Lizards. And it says, lizard feet can cling with hair. Can you see that? Gecko foot can cling with hair. They change colors till they match. Their tongues are long and fast. I want to make sure it all gets in the picture. And their tails, can detach. So here's their tail detaching. Now, let's just take a look at some reptiles we can find around San Antonio. So we have rose-bellied lizards, and spiny lizards, we have geckos, we have skinks, we have whiptails, horned lizards, and anole, prairie lizards. And here are some reptiles you can cut out and hide around your house to find turtles, snakes, crocodiles. So you can be a reptile hunter around your house. Let's see. There we go. These are reptiles you might be able to find right around your house or the area you live. So the next thing I'm going to show you is some ways you could do reptile art. So you can, there we go, print out a picture of a reptile, color it, and put on some scales. I use sequins to put on my scales. Or you can make it, that was my snake, here's my turtle. Woo. I made it from muffin cups and a bowl. See the tail, the 4 legs, that's my turtle. So you can make it from things around the house. Or look at this snake made out of pasta and a pipe cleaner. There's, can you see? There's the snake's head. There are lots of ways that you can make a snake. You can take rolls and string them together. There we go. There's my snake. There's my snake's head. Oh, there's the fangs. So I made this snake with rolls that were cut up. So you can also use pipe cleaners or Play-Doh to make reptiles. Now I'm going to show you a reptile, buffet with lots of reptile snacks. So look at this snake. Can you see its pretzel fangs? And look at its crackers with pumpkin seeds to be the scales. And it's got a raisin eye. I also have, look at this lizard made out of fruit leather. That way you can feel, remember we said it has dry, scaly skin. Can you see the dry, scaly skin? So we wanted to remember the different kinds of reptiles, snakes, lizards. Oh, here's one of my turtles. Let's hope it doesn't fall apart when I put it up. There you go. So raisin face. We have little chip eyes and gummy worm legs and some peanut butter on a cookie with some more. Those are cinnamon chips to be the, remember we said bony plates with scoots on top and the forelegs, so we can see that is another one. But don't forget, we have the fourth kind of reptile, the alligator. There's my alligator. There's my tail. Tail is compressed. We have the 4 legs. That tastes good. And I use chips again for the eyes and for the nostrils down at the end there. And these were the teeth. They sort of melted when it cooked. And for the scales. Then, remember, the other ones are the lizard. So let's hold this so you can see it. Again, this time I use sesame seeds to be the scaly skin. Oh my goodness, we just lost a foot. And there's the nose and the eyes made out of chips. We have, so that's the alligator, the lizard, the snake. In this case, we use sunflower seeds to be the scales. And last but not least, the turtle. So there's the nose and the eyes, and these are pumpkin seeds to be the scoots or scales. And you can see a little tail there and the 4 legs. Well, one of them is sort of falling off. And then you can invent a snack. So here's my pumpkin seeds and my sunflower seeds, which I use. Actually, I use sunflower seeds on the snake, but you could also make it with vegetables. So maybe we would cut this to be the shell of the turtle, or we could make a reptile out of this green pepper. We could use this tomato to be the shell. We could cut it in half. I was thinking to make alligator jaws. Maybe I'd use this celery, or maybe I'd use it this way to be the alligator jaws. I hadn't decided. I could make some of those teeth or feet out of carrots. And then I could take this banana and maybe I would cut it up and make a lizard out of it, or a snake. So you can use vegetables as well as your cookies and candies to invent a nature snack. So let's look at that for a second. And can you invent a yummy reptile? Maybe you'd use cucumber or peach. Maybe you would want to use licorice, or there's some of my sunflower seeds. You can invent your own reptile yummy snack. And so let's review what we learned today. We learned about 4 kinds of reptiles, and I'm going to pull out my reptiles so that you can remember what those were. So we learned about lizards. We learned about, this is a crocodile tooth, but crocodiles and alligators. We learned about, we certainly learned about snakes. And we learned about, where's my turtle shell? Here we go. Turtles, 4 kinds of common reptiles that you can find in Texas. There are other kinds, but we just learned the very simplest ones that we want to know for Texas. So let's sing our goodbye song. Before we do that, though, let's sing one of our reptile songs, the one about the lizards. So, have you ever seen a lizard, a lizard, a lizard? Have you ever seen a lizard all dressed up in green with green eyes, green nose, and green legs and green toes? Have you ever seen a lizard all dressed up in green? And now we're going to sing our goodbye song, now that we've remembered about our 4 different kinds of reptiles, 4 legs, or descended from creatures with 4 legs. The snake originally was, we think, a lizard with 4 legs, but then it became a burrowing animal. We know that, believe it or not, because of the shape. Let's touch our ears. There are little bones inside your ears, and the shape of the bones inside the ears of snakes tell us that they became a burrowing animal. Did they need 4 legs to walk when they were burrowing into the ground? No. So over time, they lost those legs. So when we say that reptiles come from animals with 4 legs, that's what we mean. So 4 legs, we learned about scales, dry skin, scutes, vertebrae. Remember, they've got that skeleton inside their body. So shake hands with family, it's time to go. Shake hands with friends, it's time to go. Shake hands with family, it's time to go. We hope we'll see you soon. Goodbye, children. Goodbye, family. Goodbye, friends. We'll see you again next month, when we're going to be learning about what flies at night and hangs by their toes. And we think about them at Halloween time. Bats. So that's what we'll be learning about next. Remember that at Hardburger Park, there are activities every weekend sponsored by the Conservancy and the park and some other groups like the Alamo Area Master Naturalist. So you get out to that park, because there'll be something special every single weekend. So goodbye, children. Goodbye, families. Goodbye, children. It's time to say, see you next month for Batty Bats.